My last question for you, Richa G, would be about the Dismantling Global Hindutva conference. Recently, there was a conference called the Dismantling Global Hindutva. Final, please tell us more about what this conference was and what has been the Hindu community's response to it.
Yes, I think this was, dismantling global Hindutva. Dismantling global Hindutva conference was very concerning to all of us. I think it created a wave of concern across all countries, in fact, in the diasporic community as well as in India. It got extensive media coverage. As Hindu American organizations, all of us, I work with CoHNA, so CoHNA, Hindu American Foundation, and other organizations, we wrote a number of emails to universities because this was supposed to be an academic conference with about 45 Ivy League and reputed universities where Indian American and Hindu American students study. So what we found was that these the website of DGHC, or Dismantling Global Hindutva Conference, had all of these logos of Harvard and Columbia and all of these big universities uh, out there in the open on this. So we wrote about 1 million emails went out to these universities because the concern was deep, and everybody was concerned because Indian American students study here in all these universities, and of course the logos came off. You know, a lot of us wrote many articles. We came we spread the word in media, but of course the conference did go ahead, and it, as we expected, it was not just an attack on Hindutva as a word or Hindutva as a concept. It was also an attack on Hinduism, right? So that, I think, was very concerning, and it was definitely a toxic conference. Personally, I did two things there. Firstly, on 9/11, the one big concern I felt very strongly was that, and all of us did, of course, was that this conference was held on 9/11, around the day. Now, so what it does prove is that instead of focusing on the big terror attack that happened on the soil of the United States on 9/11, the focus now was being targeted towards the Hindu American by, conflating the date of 9/11 with Hindus. So that, I think, was a big concern with us, and we did call that out. I was part of a team that organized a global Hindu conference in which we got a lot of our thought leaders to come and share their views on just the general state of the affairs with Western Indology and with all of the issues that concern us as Hindu Americans, or even as generally as Hindus, what is going on, the subversion of Hindus, and why Hindu advocacy, going back to your very first question, why Hindu advocacy is important, was vitally discussed during this conference. We really do not have a voice. I think one of three important points that came out during this conference was that, first of all, the atrocity literature that is driven around Hinduism through caste and other, trying to create the idea of superstition, or through Western Indology, just puts our traditions, our history in a very, Western lens, which is not a positive lens to study Hinduism or even India. So I think that is an important thing, that we need to develop our own discourse, our own study materials, and invent more, invent our own texts, right? And in India itself, one of the things that was deeply discussed was that the constitution does not allow free expression of our faiths. Our temples are under state control. Hindu money from the temples is siphoned off for causes which are not Hindu causes. And through some of the constitutional articles, like from 26 20, to 30, Hindu faith is subverted in India. So I think those are very important issues. Currently we are fighting. I think it's Gyanvapi. The Gyanvapi case has taken the country by storm in India, And the reason is because it is a very openly known case of a Hindu temple um, being, used as a mosque. And the Hindus have to fight laws which have been enacted in their constitution, which were inimical to Hindus. So there is a lot of deeply troubling aspects within the constitution of India that need to be amended or they need to be taken care of, and which are supporting the Hindu cause. Also, the third thing that I think we have to realize is that the genocides of non-Abrahamic faiths like Hindu faith, Sikh faiths, and Buddhist people are not very well documented in the UN. So those are some of the things that came out in that Global Hindu Conference, which I just wanted to sort of highlight quickly. And another project that I did recently was through CoHNA, which is the Coalition of Hindus of North America. I did a study for CoHNA, which was to understand through artificial intelligence and software tools what was the discourse in this DGHC conference. And we found that there was a lot of anti Hindu sentiment. There was a lot of obviously anti BJP sentiment during the conference. And there was definitely an anti-Brahmin sentiment. So we did that through a software because I wanted it to be a very objective study. So this was a very interesting study. I think I will be sharing it in future discourses with Chitty Media and with on other platforms. We are developing a solid report on that to put up on CoHNA's website as well. So that is, I think that is one of the things that I worked on with DGHC. And I think the reason this is very concerning is that, again, that conference used that platform to, again, conflate caste with Hinduism. And there are ongoing conference, follow-up breakout sessions of that conference that are continuing. So it is not as if that one conference that happened on 9/11 has stopped everything. There has stopped right there. They are continuing the discourse, and the hateful messaging still continues. They're requesting a caste survey in India, which again, the idea of using caste in laws, caste surveys, using caste resolutions in the United States is actually to perpetrate caste within the Hindu community, right? The more you enact laws, the more caste becomes embedded within our identities. So it is deeply concerning, not just DGHC, also the caste discourse and general atrocity literature and Indology studies that are perpetrating the false notions of what Hinduism really means. So I think there's a lot to fight, a lot to work on, and I think this conversation just keeps. I think it'll keep continuing. The next few years are going to be about dismantling the lies around Hinduism. And making sure we learn our own vocabulary, use our own vocabulary to present our culture, our civilization, and our dharma.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.